Hi guys, it's Angel from AngelSkyeTV. Today's your weekly medicine tarot reading for the week of April 9th. So we just entered into a Mercury retrograde on April 9th, and you may or may not have noticed communication breaking down with people around you. Maybe your technology is not working as good as it normally does. This is very common and why everyone freaks out regarding Mercury retrograding. It is a great time for reevaluating and reviewing any contracts, anything related to communications with other people. It's also a great time to reorder your life and reorganize yourself. So it's not as bad as everybody says, although you will notice that you're talking on different wavelengths with people. The words you're saying are being misinterpreted perhaps, and you're not hearing what someone's actually meaning. You might be getting caught up in the words rather than the tone, etc., etc. So that's happening. Libra is the full moon this on the 11th, so that's Tuesday. So the full moon will be in Libra. I believe it's called a pink moon. I'm not exactly sure why. But I may have made a mistake last week and said the full moon was going to be in Scorpio. I blame that on Mercury retrograde or the pre-Mercury retrograding syndrome. Anyways, I'm not an astrologer. I've made a couple of mistakes actually on this channel. I believe a few videos back I said Capricorn was ruled by Pluto, which is completely incorrect. It's ruled by Saturn. So I'm still a student of astrology and don't in any way consider myself an expert. In fact, I probably will never be an expert because there's so much to learn about astrology. I follow this astro planner made by Halifax astrologer M.J. Patterson, and it just kind of tells me what's happening each day of the week, where the planets are, etc., etc., what's retrograding, what's happening. Yeah, so that's a great little tool. We sold out of those actually at our boutique. They're very, very handy. And what else is happening? I think I mentioned last week that Saturn will be going into retrograde on the 20th, which will help relieve some stress in terms of responsibilities, I feel, for most people. So that'll be nice, a nice change. And Venus is going direct on the 15th. So hallelujah to that. So I'm going to start our reading. Close your eyes at home. If you have any questions, bring it into your heart. Try to keep your feet uncrossed, firmly planted on the ground, and just take some deep breaths into your belly. We'll ask the angelic realm and the elementals to join us today while we do our reading for the week of April 9th. And we'll just surround everyone watching with love and light and see what's going to happen this week. I always wait till I hear the cue to stop before I pull any cards. So nice long deep breaths at home. It's a pretty intense week with the full moon in Libra. All right, so beginning of the week, middle of the week, and end of the week. So let's start with the beginning of the week. So it's a really nice card talking about having an emotionally fulfilling life with family and friends. You know, people you can trust around you. I see people, you know, falling in love, and so that makes sense to me where the spring is coming, you know, our hormones are kicking in, and, excuse me, there we go. So hormones are kicking in, and, you know, it's just like it looks like it's going to be a really happy Easter weekend if you celebrate Easter, just where families are coming together and spending some time together and doing things that are more leisurely. And, You know, also it's the guides are saying, you know, it's time to get outside, you know, let that winter kind of mist or winter fog kind of shake off you by doing some yard work, getting outside, and being in nature with your family, doing it as a group. They're saying it's really important to have time away from electronics. I believe because it is, and this is debatable, some people don't believe it's the age of Aquarius yet, but I feel that it is after I watched a presentation by astrologer Emma Boardman, and she talked about how where everyone is so connected to their phones and disconnected from the people around them, that is an indication, at least in her mind, that we are already in the age of Aquarius, because Aquarius is that innovative type of energy. So the guides are saying, you know, just make a time, make it like a new part of your schedule as a family to just shut the screens off, go outside together, and just be with nature together. And you'll find a lot of energy you will receive from the earth when you do that, when you make a conscious effort to connect to the earth, to connect to the trees, to connect to the birds, all of those things that we don't really see anymore because we've been stuck inside all winter. So go out, get some fresh air. That's super important, especially at the beginning of the week. Middle of the week, I'm seeing some luck in terms of money. Woohoo! So financial windfall. You might get a promotion maybe, or some kind of unexpected supporter of whatever you're doing is just going to kind of find themselves, you're going to find that happening in the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday. So that's really positive. And it looks like you're going to be required to step up. I don't know if that means you might be asked to do something you're not normally asked to do, maybe lead a group or do some kind of leadership role of some sort midweek. So look out for that. Don't say no is what the guides are saying. Even if you think you can't do it, step in, lean in, and challenge yourself to this new leadership, because this will actually lead to something bigger and better for you down the road. So yes, you're going to be intimidated. You're going to be a little bit doubtful of your own ability to pull this off, but the guides are saying go for it. Step outside of your comfort zone, push the limits a little bit, and you'll actually surprise yourself. And that's the best part of this challenge, is that you'll really start to see what you're made out of. Or learn something new about yourself that you never thought you would be able to do. So definitely do that. At the end of the week, I do see some distraction. Maybe a little bit of, they're saying you might feel a little bit uncomfortable when you're around family and friends. Like you're kind of, again, I feel like Mercury is influencing that, in the sense where communications are kind of intense a little bit. Between loved ones and even with friends. So just remember that you don't want to come across that you're not happy to be with your family. They're saying try to practice gratitude while you're together. And even if people aren't sounding as, you know, they aren't saying the things you want them to say, or they're like rubbing you the wrong way and you don't know why, just, you know, say that it's, blame it on Mercury. Don't take what they're saying or what they're not saying or how they're saying it or how they're not saying it personal. Just try to overlook that and see beyond that to the people that you love. Like see them as who they really are, not maybe how they're presenting themselves this weekend. And yeah, so essentially what the guides are saying is just don't take people for granted. Notice that you're doing that, because no one likes to be taken for granted, and we all complain when we are taken for granted, but how many times do we hold ourselves accountable for taking other people for granted? So there's a little bit of discontentment there. You're going to find and feel perhaps like directly over the weekend, the Easter weekend. And that is only if you allow yourself to kind of go into that mode of being ungrateful and not and focusing on the wrong things, like focusing on the mistakes people are saying, or the way they're saying it, or how or just how they're coming across. So try to focus on the right things, like maybe, you know, wow, we have a warm house, this is great, we can come together, or this is wonderful, we have food, even if you don't have all the food you want, even if the house isn't as warm as you need it to be. Just really dig deep and try to find the blessing so that your weekend doesn't become go into the gutter, okay? The guides are saying to pull one extra card today. I'm not sure why, but I'll just go with that. Yeah, so this is a great card. This card is all about opening your heart for love. I don't know if you can see that. So, you know, it's just saying to help awaken your intuitive abilities, pay attention. The guides are also saying, like, keep your heart open. You're going to feel during this full moon maybe a little bit of slight chaos, like most full moons, but I'm not really savvy with the Libra sign. Like, I do understand that Libra is all about justice and balance, but I'm not sure how that relates right now personally to myself. In terms of a world view, I think that there's going to be a lot of people taking back their power during this full moon, and maybe that can create or will create a lot of chaos, more chaos than I guess that's happening. But I feel like the balance is, you know, I feel that there's hope, especially when I look at this card and I see this white dove flying across. You know, focus on the positive, focus on the hope in the world. It's really easy right now to get caught into, you know, all of this nonsense and chaos and racism and just get pulled down into that energy. It's actually very seductive to, you know, participate in those dialogues that you see on Facebook and online where people are, you know, slamming other cultures and just saying really ignorant things. Try not to get too riled up by that, and try not to let that paint your world as, you know, a world full of ignorant people, because that's not true. There's so many people that are like you, that are like me, that are here wanting to make the world a better place. There's so many people that want to do that. There's a very small percentage of people who just so happen to have a lot of power, but that's only because we feel like they're more powerful than they really are. So if we can remember our power and step into that, everything will change. So keep that in your mind. Don't allow yourself to watch and listen to things that don't make you feel good. It's great to stay informed about what's happening in the world, but if it's bringing you down and making you lose sleep at night, then you have to ask yourself if what you're learning about is really helping the world. Because if you're exhausted and stressed out and whatnot, then the world isn't going to be any better. So we need people to stay in the light, to stay with their hearts wide open, to help with the world becoming better. I'm just trying to get my dog to come over. Come here. Come here, you. Oh. So yeah, so keep your heart open. Have yourself a happy Easter. This is Mr. Chaos, my last Boston. I used to have 3, and he's the last of 3. So he's still standing, and he's a great dog. So yes, you're a good dog. So yeah, have a great Easter weekend, and I will see you back here next week. Keep your hearts open, and talk to you soon. Okay, bye.